Greetings, beautiful humans. My name is AJ, owner of AJ Inc., Triple M Coaching. This is my beautiful dragon, Midnight. She is Zeph's sister. She's making a special appearance tonight. We got a few more minutes until we're ready to start. The last song you heard was a song by my band Love Trust called Shadow Dance. So if you like that, you can look it up anywhere music is streamed. Looks like we have 4 watching. Welcome whoever's here. So glad that you guys joined me. Today, our topic is shadow work for survivors of narcissistic family systems. It's going to be a fun night. I hope someone wants to join me on Zoom. But if not, I have our WhatsApp room all set up. And inside the WhatsApp room is a healing in nature chat. And that is going to be the only place that I can watch, because for some reason, everywhere I have chats, people like to spam it up, and it's not nice stuff. So I think I can only watch one chat. So if you want to join the conversation tonight, I'll try to watch the live chat here on YouTube. It's a little bit hard to see, but I can see it right now if anyone's on there and wants to say hello. But the link to the WhatsApp chat is in the description of this video. I figured it out this time. Last time I couldn't find it. They changed it on me. Let's see. So if you've been joining me every Sunday and Wednesday, I've been live streaming. Our very first live stream was called Beyond Beliefs, where we just talked about our beliefs, how to reverse engineer our problems back to a broken belief, and then how to change the belief. The next live stream that we did was on the pain body, how our collective past pain can become almost a personality inside of us, how to recognize it. Kind of in addition to that, the next one was reparenting the inner child, which is kind of a representative of our pain body. And then our last one was conscious states, name it to tame it. So exciting stuff so far. And today we are going to talk about shadow work for survivors of narcissistic systems. So, like I've already said, my name is AJ, owner of AJ Inc., Triple M Coaching, founder of our home planet on the interwebs, hackyourself.net. I am a human programmer. I teach self-hypnosis. I help my clients reprogram the unconscious programs of self-sabotage, rewrite the programs. So, and that's kind of what we're doing here tonight. We're going to get a handle on what shadow work is, maybe talk a little bit about how mindfulness and meditation tie into shadow work, because in my experience working with clients, that's kind of where we lose people. They might sit for a half hour in meditation, but not know what to do with the thoughts that come up. So hopefully we'll get into some of that tonight. Hopefully you guys will send me some of your questions so I can answer them. And I'm going to have some fun. So welcome back to everyone who has been here before, and welcome to everyone who's joining us for the first time. I came up with these healing in nature events at the beginning of the summer, and I started just setting up signs out in a park and talking to people about mindfulness, meditation, starting conversations with people. And I had so much fun with it that when it got too cold to be outside, I thought I would move it here to the interwebs and open up my Zoom room. And so far, we've had some really good conversations. Like I've already said, tonight's event is on shadow work. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of healing, but it's also one of the most liberating. So I want you to settle in with me tonight. Take a deep breath. You too, Midnight. Because shadow work is not demons. It's not darkness. It's not dangerous. It's simply discovering the parts of yourself that your childhood home did not allow. Think about that for a moment. This part of us we might be afraid of, but it's just the part that our childhood home did not allow us to be. So right now for this grounding part, I want you to feel your breath. Take a few deep breaths in. Breathe in peace. Breathe out any chaos. Feel your spine. Feel the solid ground, solid earth or ground beneath your feet. Because tonight, we are bringing these parts of you back home. All the parts that were abandoned. Every piece of you that your childhood family told you wasn't enough or wasn't supposed to be part of you, we're going to reclaim all of those parts tonight. So I'm going to tell you a little story. Once upon a time, long before you called yourself an adult, you were a whole child, curious, expressive, honest, emotional, and vibrant. But then you were born into an environment that didn't know how to hold the fullness of who you are. So, in order to survive, you started putting pieces of yourself away. You put away your anger because your anger got you punished. You put away your joy because joy annoyed the adults. You put away your imagination because they called it too much. You put away your intuition because they shamed your truth. And worst of all, you put away your boundaries because they needed you easy to control. And little by little, your light went into hiding. And that hidden light is your shadow. So I want you to ask yourself right now, what part of you did you hide first? Just take a moment, see what comes up. You're welcome to comment in the chat or just say it to yourself. You see, the shadow is not the dark side. It's the disowned side. The version of you that got punished, silenced, shamed, or controlled completely out of existence. This shadow includes all your suppressed emotions, repressed strengths, forbidden truths, lost childhood traits. Maybe some of these will start coming back to mind as we discuss them. Survival-based adaptations, all anger you were never allowed to show, desires that you were taught to fear, boundaries that you were trained to drop, the power you were guilted out of, and all the needs that you were mocked for having. That's what makes up your shadow. These are parts of you that needed to be seen and heard, and nobody else could because they weren't looking at theirs. So how could they ever look at yours? But tonight, you have a chance to make this part of you seen. You see, the shadow grows wherever your childhood said you're not allowed. Your unconscious hid it in order to protect you. But as an adult, the hiding hurts way more than the truth. But here's the truth. Narcissistic families create the most extreme shadow wounds. And narcissistic family systems You were forced to bury your anger and your boundaries and your intuition and your authenticity. All your needs, your voice was silenced, your identity was chosen for you, along with your preferences. Your dreams weren't allowed, your truth was not heard, and your independence did not exist. Because the system demanded obedience, silence, compliance, and emotional invisibility. So your shadow is not your enemy. It is the version of you that could have saved you if you had been allowed to use it. Think about that. You've been taught to be ashamed of the part of you that you needed. So tonight, we're going to take a completely different look at this part of you that you've been ashamed of. Here are some traits that create shadows. So shadow traits you are forced to bury. Buried trait number 1, your inner fire. Anytime that something lit you on fire and you wanted to pursue it, you weren't allowed. They punished your anger, and anger is a good thing. When it's needed, you need to be able to use it. Buried trait number 2, your joy. They resented your light. They couldn't take it when you were joyful, but you have a right to be joyful. Trait number 3, your boundaries. They needed access to you, but nobody should have access to you as an adult. And those are things that you need to fix now, because that's what causes all of your problems in your current relationships, are the holes in your boundaries that you didn't know you deserved. Buried trait number 4, your curiosity. They wanted blind obedience, and you're curious and you deserve to be curious. So you need to reclaim that. Buried trait number 5, your voice. They needed control over the narrative. But we're the truth tellers here. That's why we're usually alone on the holidays, because they don't want to hear our truth. And the truth needs to be heard, and you deserve to be heard. Buried trait number 6, your sensitivity. They called it weakness, but our sensitivity is our superpower. Buried trait number 7, your autonomy. They feared your independence, and you are enough. Buried trait number 8, your worthiness. They replaced it with guilt, shame, and fear, and then they weaponized it, usually with religion. So, after hearing this list of traits, what traits did you have to bury to survive childhood? Let's leave a moment to think about that. Maybe you can comment in the chat. Still got 4 watching. Thank you guys. Take a moment to sit with this. Think about it. If anyone wants to jump into the chat on WhatsApp, I'm going to pop it up and see. Before we step into retrieval work, going back to get these parts of ourselves, some people have asked how to go deeper, how to stay connected, how to get support on the days they can't do this alone. And your unconscious might already know that deeper support exists through our WhatsApp group, the Balanced Life Wheel Online Mastermind. This is a group that I'm starting here. January 1st will be our first official group meeting. We're going to have a few meetings before then to set the group up and for me to get feedback on how it runs. But this is going to be a group where we take my book that's just been released here on Amazon called The Balanced Life Wheel, and we take one chapter each week and we focus on that area of our life The life wheel is a wheel with 12 spokes, and each one has spirituality in one, romantic relationships in another. And I'm building a group of conscious creators that want to get together once a week and talk about these areas of our lives, visualize the best possible outcome in those areas, and celebrate growth with each other and find ways around any obstacles. And also, as an addition to that group, I have another mastermind that's going to be starting at the same time as an extension to it. It is called the Outcomes Mastermind, where we visualize our future outcomes and learn meditation and mindfulness techniques to place them in our future timeline. So those are some really good group coaching that is coming up. And if you're interested in any of those, you can text me 360-798-2184, and I will give you all the information on that. And that's also the way that you can contact me about private coaching. If you text that same number, 360-798-2184, and say coaching, I will get you a consultation and we can talk about if we're a good fit for coaching. So this has been a message from your own inner shadow who wants you to come home. So let's get into some shadow retrieval exercises. How do we go back and rescue these parts? A good start was in our previous live stream about reparenting the inner child. That's a good effort to get started. But we're going to talk probably a lot of the same steps that we've talked in the other ones. We repeat these steps in the different topics so that we can get them down into our unconscious, how we get through this. So it'll make more sense as we get going here. Excuse me. So shadow retrieval exercises. Exercise 1, name the disowned emotion. So once we go through the questions that we just talked about and we realize that the parts of ourselves that weren't allowed are the parts that are fighting to be heard, we have to go and identify them. We have to name the emotions that we weren't allowed to feel. So what emotions were you never allowed to feel as a child? Example, anger, sadness, fear, excitement. You can type them in the chat or just know them, because these are what you want to work on going back and feeling and expressing again. Exercise number 2, map the shadow sensation. A lot of these shadows are hidden in our body as body memories. They will take over our entire nervous system and make us feel like we are back in the same environment. We get this a lot in relationships where somebody might be in a safe relationship, but they're projecting over top of it fear from an abusive relationship. So in this case, we need to map the shadow sensations, because our body can actually make us feel like we're in danger when we're not. So we got to start asking, where in our body do we feel the hidden self? It'll be in a clenched jaw, tightness in your gut or chest, or throat, or really anywhere. It can be personal to you. Those are just common areas. So exercise 3, shadow retrieval visualization. We do a lot of this in our groups. The unconscious mind interacts with us through our imagination. So when we visualize a scenario, when we go back to a time in our life that we keep reoccurring thoughts about, we have hurt keep coming up, and we visualize going through that time of our life, and we allow our adult self to talk to our inner child and tell our inner child what they needed, oftentimes we can heal that emotional wound in that moment. If we can get ourselves into a full body memory of it, if we can actually be feeling it as if it's real. Because our unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. That's how we program it. So in this case, we're going back to reclaim shadows. We can do it with our imagination or with visualization. We have to imagine the part of us that hid to survive. Maybe they're a child, a teen, a version of you at a specific age. For me, throughout my awakening process and meditation and healing my past wounds, I've had many versions of my past self that I've had to deal with. In the beginning, it was a very, very young child. And over the past 10 years, I've dealt with different age groups of myself. And I think that's probably the way that my unconscious mind allowed me to reparent my inner child. But it's going to happen different for everybody. You don't need to go through an entire process of it. I just spent a long time thinking about it and many, many years of mindfulness. And so I got to watch it happen slowly. But no matter how you do it, the basic idea is you want to go back to this child and have a scenario where you walk up to them and you give them what they needed. You could say something like, I'm so sorry that I abandoned you. I only did it to survive. I didn't know I was abandoning you. But I'm here now, taking you home with me. So you take a moment and just visualize this part of yourself. You can't do it wrong. Any picture you make of yourself, your unconscious mind will know that you're going back in time and you're trying to fix that part. And what it will do is it will begin to release the emotions that you've been trapping and have been trapped. I mean, you haven't been trapping them. They've just been trapped there. Because as a child, you weren't able to process what happened. But now as an adult, you can. As an adult, you know exactly what your inner child needed. And for me, it was just a matter of going back to a handful of childhood memories where my parents didn't know what I needed to hear. And as soon as I realized, oh, that child just needed a hug and to be told he was okay. As soon as I did that in my imagination, the wound would heal and patterns would change across my entire life. This is the part where I tell people when they're learning how to program their own unconscious mind, this is where magic happens, because we spend our life running from the feelings of these memories. But if we stop and we spend time learning how to interact with the memories in our own operating system without fear, we can resolve them and then we don't have to run anymore and the patterns stop. For me, just a few childhood wounds, fixing a few childhood wounds stopped a pattern of a lifelong of toxic relationships. And up until that point, I largely blamed the other parties because I was trying everything I could. But once I fixed myself, I stopped attracting those kind of relationships and I learned what I was doing in them. And so now I can see that I was causing them all along by these parts of me that I had abandoned. They were shouting, they were trying to get me to see them. And I was too busy blaming my partners for the pain that I was having. So if you get nothing else out of the tonight, that's what I'm hoping you'll get, is to start looking inside when you get hurt. It's never happening outside. So as we go a little deeper, you can start asking yourself, what traits do I want to reclaim first? In this list, where do you feel like you're lacking and what do you want to claim first? Assertiveness, creativity, boundaries, joy, sensitivity, power, honesty, sexuality, intuition. All of these areas are worth going back and reclaiming your true self, because the way other people saw you in these areas of your life are not who you are. Only you know who you are. So I invite you to take some time and meditate on each of these areas. And as we begin to close tonight, I have my Zoom room open. Let me see if anyone has joined me. You don't know how to tell? No, nobody has. The Zoom room is open. The password is 1133. The waiting room is open. Once you jump in, I will pop you over into the main room and we can have a conversation. Join if you feel called. Your shadow is not darkness. It is your abandoned brilliance. And tonight, you brought it home. I'm really proud of everyone who stayed and listened, anyone who watches the replay. Like I've said before in these, I'm just in awe of everyone who is trying to better themselves. It is literally the only option we have these days to change the world. So thank you all. I'm going to give you guys a minute to see if anyone wants to hop into Zoom with me. I'm going to play another one of my songs. In fact, I'm going to go back and play the one that is written for shadow work. It is called Shadow Dance by my band Love Trust. We'll play this, gonna hop back on. If anyone wants to join me, awesome. If not, I'll talk a little bit more about my groups and then we'll close up.
In the shadows, there's your game. See the parts you pushed away. Light within, the dark will stay. The work, look within. Find the places you've been hiding. Embrace the parts you couldn't deny. Light within, the dark will stay. Memories of a troubled past. In your thoughts, they hold you fast. Cardinal's words will show the way. Through the night into the day. Feel the fear, but don't let go. Accept the parts you never show. Integration brings you peace. From the chaos, find release. Gotta work, look within. Find the places you've been hiding. Embrace the parts you couldn't deny. In the silence, hear your cry.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like anyone has joined me in the Zoom room. That is okay. Hopefully, what is today? Sunday? Hopefully, Wednesday when I'm back, somebody will be brave enough. Let me see what we're going to be talking about on Wednesday. Let me hop over here and see what I have on the schedule. What I'm doing is in these nature events, I am going through different aspects of my coaching, trying to give a little more deeper information so that when we go through it in my groups, we'll be able to come back to these for more conversation. So tonight we are doing shadow work. Wednesday will be nervous system rewiring, basically how to fix complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Exciting. Each of these are exciting. I love each one. So I hope you can start joining me every Sunday and Wednesday, 5 to 7. I say to 7 so we have time to talk. I think it's only not even 5:30 yet. But I'll try to get a little more information for next week and we'll go a little bit longer. And hopefully somebody will join me on Zoom for a conversation. But I'm having so much fun working one-on-one with clients that I'm really excited about these groups that I'm starting. Like I said, one will be on Monday, one will be on Thursday. They're going to be live on Zoom, so you can join me from anywhere in the world. They're going to be recorded for group members, so if you miss one, you can always jump in and watch the replay later. So they're set up for busy people. And in the groups, we're just going to encourage each other to build the lives of our dreams. We're going to learn how to build businesses that we love running. We're going to learn how to market the businesses. We're going to learn how to do this shadow work in every area of our life, learn how to reclaim all these parts of ourselves so that we can be the fullest version of ourselves. So again, thank you for everyone who joined me. I think I still got a few watching on YouTube. I love you all. So grateful for each one of you. And I got a few more videos coming out hopefully this week on my YouTube channel. So please subscribe and help me by liking and sharing these videos, getting them out to people who can use them. So keep up the good work, guys. I love you all. I will see you on Wednesday.